us into your space. Hello, a very good evening to you, our dear viewer. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango, and this is News Tonight. Now straight away into the bulletin. President Museveni has resolved a long-standing land dispute involving the people of Kazinga Town Council, Rituha and Migamba sub-counties and the government. The president assured the residents they could remain on the land and promised to relocate the planned industrial park to Chaka 2. President Museveni made these remarks while addressing the public at Rituha Primary School in Rituha Sub-County, Chaka South, Chegegwa District. He emphasized that although it was a mistake for the people to encroach on government land, he cautioned them not to repeat such actions in the future. He also urged the community to avoid encroaching on wetlands, swamps and forests, warning that such practices contribute to the environmental degradation and prolonged droughts. The president explained that the land in Chaka 1 was originally designated for an industrial park, which would provide a local market for their products and create jobs. President Museveni announced the relocation of the industrial park to Chaka 2 alongside an investor interested in establishing an avocado factory. He encouraged farmers to grow avocado to support the factory's supply chain. He also urged them to plant pasture to improve milk production and pledged to provide tractors to assist in growing animal feed, thereby phasing out free grazing.
Ngwabatere orukumu batanake valire kandi rundi abaleke asigazi ibanja eri abantu batoro kubombekera center ya factories industrial park.
Ntuneni mugano hasigayeho Chaka 2.
Ego mgurusi wange hali Chaka 2.
Ege cyariho.
Ego ero tata.
Niba n'ibintu kugira.
Nangwa Chaka 2 mgurusi wange. Chaka 2 is active as a refugee settlement. Eri mwensuhuki kyonka nkoto muno. Ine bitweke bindi ebitakwasirweho. Ebikusobora kujyamu industrial park, ebikusobora no kujyamu amalimiro ga avocado n'ebindi byone bigonza kora mu Rwanda. Obundani njuka kurungi zikaba ziri square mile 62.
Very good. Mbona hati kandi hariyo abakazinga atuyaza kumpagira umbete mwiri hinduya
muhuririze
atuyaza kumpagira
gambire ngwarekere kubatera urukumu kutanaka ati kyonka naenda muhagire mu bintu bibiri byaja kusobora.
Eky'okubanza environment.
Ati mumuhagire ubuhangwa bw'ensi
bw'ensi habwokuba ebitukwenda kukora nka irrigation niyenda ngo tureke kutahirira ebisharira tureke kutahirira enyanja
mulinde obuhangwa bwensi mureke kutaha ebisaru mureke kutaha enyanja komya amaizi ago nitugetaaga kufuhirira ebirimwa byaitu kukurakuraniza ebicweka
habwokuba turikwenda kubamenyeza obukafiri
atitarikwenda musemererwe mugumire mu bukafiri
obukafiri n'okutamanya ekikyekorwa
ati abakafiri nibo abatamanya ekibasemerire kukora
habwokuba okutahirira ebisharira mukonya amaizi ng'ono mutunuka kandi amaizi nitugetenda kwija kushukirira ebihingwa mbwenu ekyo n'eki
ati inywe abakomya ebisaru nimubibyaramu emiti nimubirimamu ekyo nikwe mukwete enkurakurana
nambemwe
ati mubanze muhagire muri ekyo nka nambemu mukikwate nka nambemu mukikirize ngo nimugenda kumuhagira muramuhagira.
Now, President Museveni will next week resume his countrywide ZONO tours to monitor wealth creation initiatives and promote socio-economic transformation in the country. According to the Vice President Jessica Alupo, President Museveni will begin with Bukede, Karamoja, Sebe, Bugisu, Teso, Busoga, Lango sub-region, and of course in the effort to complete the remaining 15 sub-regions.
Your Excellency, key stakeholders you invited personally for this important meeting.
The ZONO tours acted as a wake-up call for the local government officials to urgently improve on their performance in service delivery. It was observed that many people are now responding positively towards government livelihood programs after receiving satisfactory explanations during the open discussions in the presidential ZONO tours. The open accountability program of the presidential tours has led to reduced mismanagement of PDM, EMIOGA, and other service delivery funds by the usual suspects. The mobilization in the ZONO tours has led to more people joining the money economy, as people proved through the ZONO tours that the livelihood programs are meant to sustainably benefit them. The ZONO tours have supported mobilization to enable the 39% of the population that was originally outside the money economy to join the money economy. The tours created a platform for the population to expose the corrupt officials who are misusing the government funds, and as a result of the open exposition, there is reduction on corruption cases in the zones so far visited. The presidential tours acted as a stimulus for the local government to quickly move the government programs, including the PDM, EMIOGA, etc. The presidential ZONO tours have greatly helped to create avenues for His Excellency the President to interact with the population and also respond to issues affecting the community directly, and this has greatly increased confidence of the population towards the livelihood programs. As you may all know, the ZONO tours is a key strategy to ensure that no one is left behind in the fight against poverty. The purpose of this meeting, therefore, is to announce to you that His Excellency the President is due to resume his countrywide ZONO tours to complete the remaining 15 sub-regions of Uganda, beginning with Bukia, the sub-region as per the program attached. Honorable members, the presidential ZONO tours is all our responsibility, and I humbly request for maximum cooperation as we did very well as a team in the sub-regions already visited. It is not one person's activity, it's an activity which is for all of us, as we are all fighting a common enemy called poverty from the households. According to him, it is very important that he interacts with everybody, the youth, the business, the leaders, the elders, all categories which are there in the leaders' meeting. So that's how we have been at the forefront of this presidential ZONO tours. And I want to thank you for the cooperation and the support. Because even by turning up for this meeting, that's a big cooperation and a big support.
Now, the First Lady and Minister of Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Museveni, has expressed gratitude to FINLAND Aid Uganda for their support and promotion of quality education in the country. She highlighted that FINLAND Aid, that is FCA, significant work, particularly in refugee hosting districts, provides technical assistance to the Education Policy Review Commission, developing infrastructure and supporting continuous teacher development. Mrs. Museveni hosted a high-level delegation from Finland at State House in Entebbe.
During the meeting, Mrs. Museveni praised the quality and excellence of all FINLAND Aid-built schools. She emphasized the importance of such attention to detail for skills development, noting that it teaches Africans to prioritize quality in all endeavors. The First Lady acknowledged global admiration for Finland's education system, citing it as the reason for the Education Service Review Commission's benchmark visit to Finland. Mrs. Museveni requested Finnish support for vocational education in Uganda, particularly in training instructors for technical and vocational institutes.
We would like to see how we can cooperate and work together in some of our areas of education. Skills development for sure, but even even the other Scandinavian countries, to do something with trainers for skills development. I still have that need.
The First Lady also highlighted the Ministry of Education and Sports' embrace of digital information management systems, expressing interest in improving techniques for registering all school children in the country.
And I was trying to get all the school children in the country registered, because we have been attempting many times, but our exercises don't work permanently.
Regarding Uganda's open-door refugee policy, Mrs. Museveni explained that many Ugandans, including our family, were once refugees themselves.
Basically offer what we have, knowing that nobody just wants to run away from their country. So because we have that background, it helps us to remember where we have come from and what we can do for others when they stand where we once stood.
The Most Reverend Dr. Patricia Lukoma commended the First Lady and President Museveni for Uganda's progressive youth policies and maintaining stability in the country. He shared that he had visited Uganda during the LRA insurgency years ago and was pleased to find a peaceful Uganda now. He offered prayers and continued peace and stability in the country.
One thing I think that also Finland and many other countries in the world could learn from Uganda, your country, is the way you welcome refugees and how you handle the problem of internally displaced people. So I have been personally here once before in 2009, and we visited some refugee camps up in the north in Kitgum. And then I was very impressed how welcoming Uganda was for those people who were forced to leave their own home surroundings.
Yeah.
His Excellency Patricia the Finnish ambassador to Kenya and Uganda reaffirmed Finland's commitment to supporting Finn Church Aid. He pledged continued funding for initiatives benefiting refugee communities, education, and youth empowerment. Reporting for UBC, Paguma William.
Now, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, has urged government to consider licensing more manufacturers of iron and steel. Tayebwa is on a walking tour to eastern Uganda, monitoring various value addition projects, where he paid a courtesy visit to Tembo Steel Limited plant in Busia District.
The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, on Friday morning stopped over at Tembo Steel's plant in Iganga on his oversight journey to monitor various value addition projects in eastern Uganda.
As the leadership of Parliament, we have focused on pro-business interventions. Pro-business interventions which would support the vision of His Excellency the President.
Tembo Steels Uganda Limited has expanded its workforce to accommodate over 3,000 employees manufacturing steels from iron, among other products.
We feel every time it expands, there are more opportunities that come along with this expansion. A case in point, the market share of the products here has expanded. They are not only producing for Uganda, they are producing for East African market and Africa as a whole.
While touring the plant, Tayebwa urged government to restrict importers of steel in order to empower local manufacturers. He wants manufacturers of steel to be licensed.
We start charging import duty because these products, these raw materials, which are more or less semi-finished products, some of them value addition is only 5%. Right? They just add a little value, they cut and go to the market and compete with the guys who are doing a lot of processing here. So it's very, very, very critical.
Tembo Steels Limited is among companies providing technical skills to the local community in both areas of Lugazi and Iganga.
So many times they've given us oxygen in our hospital, even the nearby health centers.
As we talk, one of the key challenges, the road infrastructure. You remember in 2020, His Excellency the President, they came along with the Minister of Works, General Katumba Amala, the Right Honourable Speaker then, and they commissioned the tarmacking of this road from Walgogo through Luwuka up to Kamuli. To date, the contractor has never started working on this road.
Tayebwa applauded the management for adding value to steel products.
These people are consuming over 40 megawatts of our power, paying around 4.2 billion in electricity alone every month. When you look at the deemed energy costs that we have been spending on power not being consumed, I mean, this is a very, very good, it's a very, very good addition, and it is saving us. Now, what we need to do as a government is to design a policy that can reward those who have listened to the President's message. A policy of saying no for these ones who are producing using Ugandan products, they should pay a certain percentage.
The Deputy Speaker, Thomas Tayebwa, continued with his oversight visit to Mbale Industrial Park, managed by Uganda Investment Authority. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gwitabinji, UBC News.
The Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, has called on all Ugandans to integrate hand washing into their daily routines to reduce the disease burden among Ugandans. The Prime Minister was representing President Yoweri Museveni at the Presidential Dialogue on Water, Sanitation and Hygiene held at Parliamentary Building in Kampala.
The first ever presidential dialogue under the theme Building Resilient Communities, Prioritizing Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, Financing and Investment, was presided over by the Prime Minister of Uganda, Robin Nabanja, who represented the President.
Hand washing with soap is a fundamental act, but it is one that has the power to change lives. It is a simple act that can prevent diseases such as cholera, dysentery, typhoid, and respiratory infections. We need to get this right with sustainable approaches if we are to win the battle against diseases. When we had the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, we witnessed firsthand the importance of hand washing in reducing the spread of contagious diseases. Hand washing became a frontline tool. I repeat, a frontline tool.
She called on all Ugandans to integrate hand washing into the daily routines at home, in schools, and at workplaces in order to reduce the disease burden among Ugandans.
I urge teachers, health workers, and community leaders to champion this cause. We need to instill in our children the habit of washing their hands with soap at critical moments, before eating, after using a toilet, and after touching surfaces that may be contaminated.
You should be preventing the diseases instead of asking for more money for buying more medicine. Reduce the burden of diseases so that you don't have all that burden of diseases. And I think he's right. And this is the reason we have people like you here, to help us, to work with our communities, to work with the MD, Ministry of Local Government and other partners, to make sure that we reduce that burden of disease. I've told you 75% of that burden of disease. Wash diseases themselves cost us 530 billion per annum. That's a big burden. Our burden for medicines is 511 billion. Medicines for the whole of this country. But you can see wash diseases alone are costing us 530. We should come up with a law, because there are people who will not leave the practice, of open defecation without some force. I mean, what is so difficult about digging a latrine?
As a result of government interventions, Nabanja said Ugandans now have access to safe clean water.
The coverage in rural areas is now at 67% and 73% in urban areas. We are moving steadily. Out of 225 villages in Uganda, 617 villages have been served with at least one safe water source. And to me, this is a big achievement.
Currently, the government of Uganda invests close to 1 trillion shillings in the water sector, but 7 trillion shillings is required if the country is to attain 100% full water coverage by 2040.
The Judiciary's annual performance report of the financial year 2023-2024 indicates that there was a disposal of 60% cases, saving over 17 billion shillings, including the 10.6 billion non-tax revenue. This was communicated by Chief Justice Alfonso Winyidolo while delivering the Judiciary performance report for the year 2023-2024 at the function held at the Judiciary headquarters in Kampala.
As its mandate to do every year, Judiciary presents its performance report to the public, where it highlights its achievements, challenges, and the way forward in administering justice to the people of Uganda. Among the achievements was an increase in case disposal at different court levels, where over 230,000 cases were disposed of.
Out of a total caseload of 401,269, in the financial year under consideration, we registered a 59.67, roughly 60% case disposal. Of course, there are many things that have facilitated this. Enhanced numbers of judicial officers, innovative approaches to justice delivery, technology, and so on and so forth.
The judiciary also managed to collect over shillings 17 billion in revenue, where 10.6 billion shillings was non-taxed revenue and 6.5 billion bail deposit.
Judicial officers are some of the most hard-working people in this country. True, a couple of judicial officers may be found to be wanting in this regard. Those are exceptions to the general pattern where judicial officers really put their very best, their soul, their body, their spirit, to ensure that the little that we give is given to justice seekers in this country.
The Chief Justice also highlighted on an increase in case backlog disposal, where over 401,269 cases were registered in previous financial year, and 239,431 cases were disposed of.
If I had all the 150 High Court judges Parliament has given us, and I had even just 25 Court of Appeal justices, I do believe that the Chief Justice would be able to tell all judicial officers, if a case has taken more than 365 days, 366 days in your court.
The performance is based on the increasing use of alternative dispute resolutions at all court levels, although this would call for an increase in the judiciary's budget.
The greatest innovation, the greatest intervention in the justice process in this country, the game changer in the justice delivery process in this country will be alternative dispute resolution. The courts closed with a pending caseload of 168,838. That is end of June this calendar year, which was the end of the financial year under consideration. 42,588 were backlog, which accounted for 26.32% of the cases.
The judiciary intends to recruit more judicial officers and construct more courts at different levels in different districts.
So hopefully we'll make the 35 appellate Court of Appeal justices mark will be very good for our country. If the judicial officers can have a reasonable number of files to them, and when a matter comes up, they have all the time to sit down, ponder, reason with themselves as we always do when we're writing judgments. Very few cases, if any, should go beyond the Court of Appeal.
In spite of these achievements, the judiciary has also encountered some challenges, such as limited manpower, inadequate infrastructure, and poor housing for judicial officers in hard-to-reach areas.
We can have courts up to the village. We can have a magistrate in every village, but people will still cry that they are not getting justice, they are not accessing justice. So, literally, you need a situation where every judicial officer, including the Chief Justice, has somebody breathing on their neck in the performance of their judicial work.
The judiciary annual performance for the financial year 2023-2024 was held at the judiciary headquarters in Kampala. Amaiva Njuko and Viola Nansubuga.
Now, the Office of the Prime Minister, through the Ministry of Luwero-Rwenzori Triangle, has launched a distribution of IRONSHETs in the region of Busoga and Luwero. The initiative, intended to assist vulnerable communities and other institutions like schools, was launched by the Minister for Luwero-Rwenzori Triangle, Alice Kaboyo.
The Office of the Prime Minister, through the Ministry of Luwero-Rwenzori, has launched distribution of IRONSHETs for Busoga sub-region and Luwero. In the exercise held in Jinja, local leaders have been tasked to monitor the program so that it benefits the targeted population. Minister of Luwero-Rwenzori Triangle, Alice Kaboyo, encouraged leaders to join efforts in addressing poverty that's affecting their areas.
Area members of parliament, the district technical and political leadership, and all other relevant stakeholders to jointly work together in the coordination, identification, and onward distribution of the deliverables.
She emphasized government's commitment towards supporting Busoga through micro projects.
For the last financial year 2023-24, the Office of the Prime Minister supported 71 of the 120 groups identified in Busoga sub-region with 692,825 million.
The RCC of Jinja, Richard Gume, applauded President Museveni for supporting the region through poverty alleviation programs, which have progressed well.
We have a MasterCard program of PDM. Every parish received 100 million, and most of the districts are above now 90%.
The chairperson of Busoga NRM Parliamentary Caucus, Idi Isabide, called on district leaders to be vigilant while giving out iron sheets to ensure that they benefit the targeted beneficiaries.
The district administration in all the districts of Busoga to make sure that these iron sheets are used for the intended purposes. We want to appreciate His Excellency the President for this intervention.
Some area leaders requested for additional resources.
Almost all the structures lyrical asbestos. I want to invite you in the rural periphery of this district so that even those villagers can also observe and see that really there is something we are doing.
A total of 15,033 iron sheets amounting to about 900 million shillings are expected to be given to all districts of Busoga sub-region. Reporting for UBC News, I'm Charity Nahawi.
It's been a busy day across the country as school managements took senior 4 candidates through the briefing exercise, which is a mandatory requirement by the Ministry of Education and Sports for all schools. The briefing was accompanied by prayer sessions, all calling for God's guidance. Our UBC TV crew visited some schools and filed this report.
High School Mugongo, situated in Wakiso District, teachers and educational experts had already settled by 10 a.m., taking candidates through the do's and don'ts regarding the briefing ahead of the Uganda Certificate of Examinations that will commence on Monday.
We have said the rules which govern this answer booklet are very clear.
Later, the school head teacher gave candidates an opportunity to ask questions related to the exercise that they want well versed with.
Asking, after having this booklet and it's done up to the last, this is the last one, and you would wish to have a new one, do we still write on the new one the details the way we wrote on the first one? Yes. I'm saying a very big yes.
The school also conducted a special prayer session for candidates to pray for Allah's guidance during and throughout the examination period.
We have done our role as teachers, the parents have done their role. Now we dedicate to them in prayer and we supplicate in terms of dua.
The school headmistress Hajati Aisha Nakachinda Matovu is convinced that they have equipped students with enough knowledge to help them excel.
To be able to attempt them, they are going to set for them scenario-based items. And in these items, we believe that these students have been trained to identify and understand and be able to pull out the way they understand the scenario and then apply it.
Some of the 313 candidates who registered for the 2024 UCE finals that we talked to revealed to us that all is well and they are eagerly waiting to sit their papers.
Today we have had the briefing of the senior candidates and we are we are so much interested in passing our exam successfully. As you know that We are the pioneers of this curriculum, so we are well past and covered the curriculum now, and the school has provided resources and seminars and teachers so that we can acquire the needed education and the facilitation that we need in order to succeed in this examination.
Our expectations, of course, we try to prepare. Our head teacher has tried to prepare us facilitations. We have had our facilitators out of the school and within the school.
It was the same experience at Progressive Secondary School Chitintale, with the school head teacher Judy Pius Chitanywa applauding the government for introduction of the new lower secondary curriculum, which he believes has helped learners gain hands-on skills.
I appreciate so much the works and needs of the Ministry of Education under the NCDC and still under the management of UNEB. This tooling has helped us so much and has made people conform to the lower secondary curriculum norms. We believe our learners are going to do their best.
The candidates are optimistic of good results.
I really thank my parents for everything they have done to reach me thus far. I want to thank the Almighty God for providing. So now that everyone we started with has reached where we are right now on the briefing day, I want to thank our school, the teachers who have done a very great.
We are very prepared. As you can see, we are doing everything we can to make this a successful new curriculum for all of Uganda and for everyone to know that this is going to impact more than what they think it is.
So if you don't forget that this is our 5th year, even after all COVID affecting us, this is our 5th year that we are going to be sitting for our examinations. But in the first place, the teachers have really done what is enough. The administrators have really done what is enough.
I'm Ivan Joko and Robert Katamba for UBC.
Now still with exams, with Uganda entering a busy period in readiness for primary leaving examinations, that is the Uganda Certificate and Uganda Advanced Certificate of Education examinations. It's a beehive of activities at many schools. This Friday has witnessed briefing of Senior 4 learners and blessing prayers to usher the learners into this life-defining period with God as their hope and savior.
With the nation bracing for the 2024 leavers examinations, there has been briefing of Senior 4 candidates witnessed at Crested Secondary School, Makindye. Here, 125 candidates have been briefed about the do's and don'ts and also prayed for during a praise and worship session that was truly fitting for the pioneer class to sit examinations under the new lower secondary curriculum. Reverend Canon Everett Mugarra urged candidates to be courageous and confident with faith in God.
Ours was to encourage them, and one of the things I mentioned was to make sure that they don't waste time on other things other than focusing on what they must do in order to succeed in their exams. And one way of focusing is to know what to do when. And discipline is part of it. Avoiding excitement because you are a candidate, but amidst all, prayer and prayer, persistent prayer.
The school principal, Canon Lydia Ibingira, said the candidates have been fine-tuned in direction of the new curriculum.
They have been prepared very well. They are confident, they are excited, they are eager to see what they have to do, because this is our pioneer candidates, and being pioneers, we've done our best, and they are eager and excited to ensure that they do these exams with all their might and energy. They are very excited.
Senior 4 examinations start next Monday with chemistry and music oral for the transitional class, while those for the new lower secondary curriculum start with mathematics and chemistry.
I'm proud to be here today, and of course on Monday we have our first papers, and I hope, because we are really prepared, our teachers have been there for us, and of course it's a sure deal, God is going to answer our prayers because hard work pays.
At St. Francis Junior School, Budo, it was a trio of activities highlighted by blessing of the 194 primary 7 candidates that are ready for the 2024 examinations. The Mass was graced by Reverend Raymond Kalanzi, whose message was focus, behavior and seriousness as the keys to unlock most doors in the world.
But if we are not serious, we're not going to get there. This is not the time for long preaching. I think the message has come across. What is number 3? What is number 3? What is number 1? What is number 3?
These are primary 7 examinations that start on 6th November with mathematics and social studies and religious education, and will climax the next day with integrated science and English.
This is a great moment when receiving blessings from all stakeholders. You are blessed for a brighter future. What you have achieved before may not determine what you can achieve tomorrow. Therefore, prepare yourselves for individual success. The mountain you are about to climb has been climbed by very many, including your parents, including the clergy here, including the head teacher. Like you have been guided, be focused. What was the second one? The third? Perfect.
At St. Francis Junior School, Budo, there was also profession of faith by 88 learners, with the school director appealing to parents to ensure they are exemplary.
We therefore call upon you to take up the responsibility of ensuring that our confirmants keep in line with God's commandments, support them spiritually, conduct prayers together as a family, and go to church with them.
Parents that have dedicatedly continued with the school for 10 years, climaxing with this candidate class, were also rewarded for loyalty.
Now, a total of 2,905 candidates have been registered to sit for the Uganda Certificate of Education by Ugandan National Examination Board, UNEB, in Busia District. Busia UNEB Supervisor Alo Tapa says that the 2,905 learners are to sit for the new lower secondary curriculum, while the 50 are sitting for their transition exams. This year has seen an increase in the number of candidates by 24 compared to 2023. This has been attributed to the increase in public sensitization.
Processing areas, we give them practical knowledge on how the processing of minerals, for example, gold, and what exactly do we mean by gold, how do we get it. It has been an advantage on our side. Our learners are very much advanced in what we call mining right now.
Curriculum, everything is done physically, not even saying you hear the stories, you hear, but students of theory essays, I tell the truth. They know what is happening, and especially in the gold mining.
I've briefed all the head teachers in Busia District, including Namayingo and the Sigulo Islands, with all the police officers who are supposed to work with us to ensure that we run this examination smoothly, as per the rules and regulations of UNED.
We have been prepared by our powerful teachers. The director has been there for us, bringing in more skilled people.
Because our director has put in so much efforts to make us reach here. He has brought for us facilitators. Our teachers have put in a lot of efforts, like to help us get through everything, all the hardships, all the fear that we had.
Uganda National Roads Authority UNRA has announced plans to install a temporary jet bridge to solve the emergency issue of transport caused by bridge construction works in Pakwash, according to the UNRA construction of a temporary Kitty bridge that will commence in January 2025 to ease connection to the West Nile region. Executive Director UNRA Alan Kajina says the temporal bridge should be able to facilitate transport and ensure safety of travelers and their goods.
the immediate intervention we're going to do is construct a temporary bridge so that traffic can continue flowing, and build then, after that, a permanent bridge. So there are going to be 2 new bridges, Karuma and Pakwach. But for continuity of traffic, we will start with the temporary bridges. Obviously, even what you're seeing in Karuma is temporary works, but the permanent bridges will be done, and they will be much higher than the current levels. That's why, I mean, this vegetation is blown.
Now, Soroti City Education Officer Patti Emoko has called for action against perpetrators of early marriages, unwanted pregnancies, and all forms of abuse and neglect of vulnerable girls. This was during the inspection at St. Francis Madeira Secondary School for the Blind in Soroti City, where she said many parents consider the disabled children as a burden in the family and leave them exposed to danger.
Child neglect and abuse of disabled children has emerged in Teso sub-region, causing high school dropout rate of underage girl, unwanted pregnancy and early marriages. Soroti City Education Officer Patti Emoko wants parents of disabled children to take responsibility. As a counteractive measure, his office has started a community awareness campaign to scale down the school dropout rate, as legal measures will be undertaken for mitigation purposes.
Disability is not inability. Battling with the Ministry of Education and Sports, teacher-people ratio, the human resource here. The teachers we have here are actually few.
The response arose from the administrator for St. Francis Secondary School for the Blind Madeira, Sister Aguti Mary Goretti, who noted that parents have shunned interaction with school management, with fewer parents attending the school annual general meeting.
St. Francis Secondary School for the Blind started in 1983 after realizing a high dropout of children in the primary section after their primary education, because many of them could not make it to Iganga. However, negligence by their parents after sending them to school.
Most school heads of schools for the blind blamed parents for abandoning their children, not taking concern over their disability.
The school was left in our hands as Africans. There was financial challenges, difficulty in getting scholastic material. Parents of the blind children, they don't care much about a blind child.
From St. Anne Madeira Girls Primary School for the Blind, Sister Mary Betty Alupo said the founder of the school, Mother Kevin Mary Kianis, laid a foundation that gives blind children hope.
We are still having the challenge of early marriages. Find that when a child reaches P4, P5, you find that most of them drop out of school.
I was 15 years, I got blind. That is in 1989. So then 90, I was brought to here. The works of Mother Kevin helped me to nurture me and to teach me. That is why I was able now to be a teacher here.
Father Mother Kevin was a loving person, and that's why she went founded the visually impaired school. There is adequate education. Of course, building schools, that means promoting education. Education is power. She also gave the blind hope, those that the world had forsaken.
It's a day that we treasure so much, and it reminds us of who Mother Kevin was, and we feel because of the work she has done.
The inspection follows preparations to mark 67 years of the death of the foundress of the school, Mother Kevin Mary Kiane, due 19th October. Abiona Francisco, UBC News.
Stop breathing. To be a winner, you must breathe only when necessary. Breathing is for losers. What is that? Did I give you permission to sweat? You can sweat in your free time. Push the arms straight.
Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
Hey kids, we're going to count today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Enjoy 5 ways to love your baby, smoothen and protect your baby's skin with 5 new gentle formulations. Original to nurture your baby, aloe vera to protect your chibubu skin, cocoa butter to comfort your pinku, mild scent to soothe your little one, and avocado to soften your buju skin. Available in all supermarkets, retail shops, and cosmetics shops near you. Move it, baby jelly. All day confidence.
To help businesses recover from the impact of COVID-19, government introduced a tax amnesty through a waiver of interest and penalty on outstanding principal tax as at June 30th, 2023. Accordingly, URA has since July 2024 been implementing this waiver. To benefit, simply pay your outstanding principal tax by December 31st, 2024, and the waiver is applied automatically upon payment confirmation. This amnesty applies to domestic taxes, namely income tax, rental tax, payee, and others. Grab this golden opportunity today. For more, use the platforms displayed.
Uganda Revenue Authority, developing Uganda together.
Instant noodles, they're so tasty. Indomie, you just have to go and try it. So tasty and delicious, fast and easy to prepare. Just 3 minutes and they're ready. You can have them anywhere.
Indomie Instant Noodles is available in 3 flavors of chicken, beef, and vegetable. Buy your Indomie Instant Noodles in supermarkets and dukas near you anywhere across Uganda. Indomie Instant Noodles, Uganda's best loved noodles.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy Wanawoli.
Welcome to the world of business. Now, a 57-year-old Baguma Eric, a father of 6 from Karambe village in Fort Portal tourism city, is shining, and he is trying to make things work for himself. Working with Microfinance Support Center ZONO manager for Busia District, Emmanuel Boga emphasizes that the main driver of the SACCO growth is member-based shared capital. He explained that the SACCO for the Myoga leaders are focusing more on mobilizing savings, building capital, and maintaining transparency in their operations. Let's hear more in this report.
Capital of 800,000 Uganda shillings, 57-year-old Baguma Eric, a resident of Karambe village in Fort Portal tourism city, is now a model farmer in the area thanks to a Myoga intervention. From his initial investment of 800,000 shillings, Baguma invested in vegetable growing, and from the sold harvest, he managed to buy a cow and a calf, which have multiplied to a stock of 6 dairy cattle.
Then when I was selling vegetable growing, I earned about 2.5 million from vegetable which I was growing. I planted carrots, green pepper, cabbage. Then when I get the profit, I bought 1 cow.
With the profits gained, he further purchased Frisian cows and later expanded by acquiring 4 hectares of land where he plans to grow grass for his cattle. Not grazing Frisian alone, Baguma invested time and resources in banana growing, hence boosting his income to a tune of 500,000 Uganda shillings monthly, and is planning to build a permanent modern home for his family.
So after starting my construction, that's how I'm planning to make everything to be in order.
Baguma and his wife are now a powerful tool for rural economic transformation. He urges the visiting team from Greater Masaka, Uganda, to embrace wealth creation initiatives like Emyoga for sustainable community development.
And I can tell the people they should not neglect programs of the government.
Meanwhile, Emyoga Sacco beneficiaries from various districts of Greater Masaka, Uganda, are in Kabarole zone for a peer-to-peer benchmarking exercise organized by the Microfinance Support Center.
The Emyoga Saccos that came from Masaka have been able to acquire knowledge, the best practices to run their business. We are happy for the president. The project Emyoga Saccos have impacted on the communities.
The team agreed to implement the successful strategies observed during their visit to improve SACCOs in their districts.
The team we've moved with shall be able to go back and mobilize other people to, first of all, to make more savings, secondly, to have what we call shares to enable them add on the seed capital which the government added to them.
Relatedly, the visiting team was particularly inspired by the Karugutu Mainstream Sacco in Toroko District. Established in 2016 with just 16 local farmers and 160,000 Uganda shillings, this Sacco has played a pivotal role in transforming the economic fortunes of farmers in the region. Marion Awori and Robert Whiter for UBC.
Well, thank you very much there, Marion, Awori and Whiter. And of course, that brings us to the end of our bulletin. We will once again meet at 10 o'clock. My name is Patricia Lukoma Mpango. Stay with us.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing